Question: if you have kidney disease and your goal is to improve your GFR numbers, what is the best carbohydrate source you can find? Maybe carbs from fruit such as berries or apples, for example. Or maybe it's whole grains such as buckwheat, bulgur, and barley. Or is it carbs from a proteic pasta and bread? Or maybe it's starchy veggies such as potatoes, beets, and squashes? If you know the answer, write it down in comment section. Gathering here, let's talk about one of the most important aspects of the renal diet: your choice of carbohydrates. Following the right diet is always the first and the most important step if your goal is to protect your kidneys and improve your GFR numbers. And you definitely cannot do this without the right carbs. Science tells us very clearly that if you have CKD stage 3 or higher, carbs must be your main energy source. And guys, today's video is going to be especially important, not just for those following a low protein diet that requires them to eat a lot more carbs, but also for people suffering from diabetes. If you have diabetes and kidney disease, eating the wrong carbs is not going to work for you. So which one of the food groups on the left of the screen is going to be your best friend when it comes to protecting the kidneys? Carbs from fruit or from whole grains or from a proteic pasta or from starchy veggies? If you know the answer at any point, write it down in the comment section. And guys, while many, if not all, of these carb sources are essential in a renal diet that works, only one is going to come out on top. Only one is going to be the best for kidney disease patients, both with or without diabetes. So let's break this down and find the answer. Starting with carbs from fruit. Okay, I'll tell you immediately that fruit is very close to the best possible carb source out there. For some people, this is going to be the best carb source because you see, there are many examples of people reversing the decline of their kidney function with the diet in medical literature, alright? And all of them relied heavily on fruit. And not just because fruits are very rich in the most special type of carb, there is fiber, while being basically protein free. Also because many fruits have unmatched health benefits. Berries are an example. They are great, and I often recommend blueberries in particular because they are a real superfood. They're packed with important nutrients and antioxidants. Antioxidants in particular are key to protect the kidneys. They help fight against oxidative stress and inflammation in the body, which are linked to many chronic diseases, including CKD and diabetes. Citrus fruits are another example. Most people eat oranges and tangerines for the vitamin C, but did you know that the main benefit these fruits have is their diabetes fighting ability?
Wait. What?
Yes, some diabetes patients are shocked when I tell them this. Yes, some diabetes patients are shocked when I tell them this. I mean, there are carnival shields today that will tell you that the only way to improve with diabetes is a diet with zero fruit, when in reality there is solid scientific literature to link the consumption of oranges and other citrus fruits to improved glycemic control and insulin resistance. The reason is a flavonoid called N-biotin that will have a more powerful effect on your blood sugar levels than the little amount of sugar the citrus fruit contains. Most fruits are also low in calories and in protein, but rich in fiber and full of antioxidants, vitamins, and essential minerals. So, do we have a winner already? Well, no. In my opinion, there is a carb source in this list that's even healthier. Because you don't want to rely too heavily on fruits when planning your diet, especially if you have diabetes. The trick to turn fruit from a sugar source into your best ally is moderation. So fruit is not going to win today, but not because it's not essential in your diet, just because there is another carb source that you should rely on even more. So is the winner going to be carbs from whole grains? Okay, this is another great carb source you absolutely want in your diet every day. Whole grains such as bulgur, wild rice, buckwheat, barley are extremely healthy. Bulgur, for example, is an amazing source of low GI carbs, complex carbs that won't spike your insulin, which is exactly what you want in your diet, and not just if you have diabetes. In fact, the reason why glycemic index of whole grains is so low is their fiber content. Fiber is the best friend of your kidneys. It will improve your gut microbiome, making it possible for your intestine to remove dangerous toxins more efficiently. And fiber will also slow down your digestion, which is key to manage glycemic control in those with diabetes. And while all whole grains are low in GI carb sources and rich in fiber, bulgur is also a great source of B vitamins, magnesium, iron, and manganese, making it extremely healthy for CKD patients. Another example of whole grain that you can benefit from is rolled oats. Oats are full of beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber with powerful detoxing properties that have been linked to improve glucose control and cholesterol control. This is possible because beta-glucan is a type of soluble fiber, alright? This fiber will form a gel with water and act as a broom in your gut, carrying out all sorts of toxins. Now guys, many other options are available when it comes to grains. Another whole grain I recommend is wild rice. Wild rice has many of the health benefits of oats and bulgur, with one extremely useful added benefit. Wild rice is also lower in phosphorus than most other whole grains, but you see, all whole grains still have some phosphorus. Now, phosphorus naturally also comes with protein, and this is bad. Phosphorus and protein are basically the two things the renal diet is planned around today, alright? You absolutely don't want to rely too heavily on a carb source that will make you overshoot the amount of protein you are supposed to get in a day. And don't get me wrong, whole grains are great, very healthy, but if you are struggling to reduce your protein intake, these are not the foods you want to add to your diet. And I know for a fact that most kidney disease patients would benefit from reducing their protein intake. This is why carbs from whole grains are not the correct answer to the question, what is the best carbohydrate source for people with CKD? There is actually a carb source that's made specifically to reduce your protein and phosphorus intake. I mean, that's perfect for people that have CKD and want to improve, alright? Is this super carb source going to be our winner? Before we see it, let's answer the question I believe many of you have in mind right now. Aren't carbs the cause of diabetes? And also, if the perfect carb source is so hard to find, wouldn't it be better to completely avoid carbs, especially if we have diabetes? Well, no, never avoid carbs if you have kidney disease. I mean, if your goal is to avoid dialysis. If you don't mind ending up in dialysis, you can eat all the steak you want. Not everyone has their health as their top priority, right? But if you are watching me right now, you probably care more about being healthy and free than what your next meal is going to taste like. So if your kidney health is your top priority here, what you should know about carbs is that they must be your primary energy source. Science tells us that for your renal diet to work, you must get at least 60% of your total energy intake from carbs, alright? And that means that you are mostly going to focus on eating high carb foods such as those we are seeing today. All that while avoiding protein sources such as meat, dairy, fish, and so on. We know today that type 2 diabetes can actually be reversed, but not if you base your diet on red and processed meat. There is only one thing that really matters in order to reverse type 2 diabetes, and it's not restricting carbs. It's restricting calories. Tons of studies are proving this. Now, these statements you see are coming from an article published on the BMJ, by the way, one of the most important health journals in the world. What this means is that if your goal is to improve your glycemic control, you must eat more carbs, not less. It may seem counterintuitive, but it becomes immediately clear why avoiding carbs is not going to help controlling diabetes when you see this. This is what 200 calories of grapes look like, and this is what 200 calories of bacon look like. Keeping in mind that calories are the only thing that cause type 2 diabetes, not carbs, just calories. Which one of these two foods is going to be better for someone with diabetes? Keep in mind that this small amount of bacon will not make you full satiated at all. You will want to eat more bacon really soon. On the other side, we have 200 calories of grapes. If your goal is to lose weight, which is what people with type 2 diabetes need in order to improve, eating a large amount of grapes is a lot better than eating a small amount of red meat. But as we will see, there is a carb source that's even better than what we have seen until now. So which one? Is it going to be a proteic pasta in bread or starchy veggies? If you know the answer, write it down in comment section. Is it going to be a proteic from food items? These are specially made food staples such as pasta, bread, and rice that contain zero protein in them. This is very useful. As I was saying, one of the main dangers for your kidneys is eating too much protein without noticing. Because you see, many people believe that just by avoiding meat, fish, dairy, eggs, and so on, they are going to be safe. Unfortunately, this is not true. When studies were done on CKD patients that were on a low-protein diet, even while being monitored by a renal dietitian, most patients were found to overshoot their target for protein intake, and this leads to a loss of kidney function. So they were eating too much protein, and this caused them to lose kidney function, even while following a renal diet that didn't allow meat, fish, and so on at all. But how is this possible? Well, because main carb sources are also protein sources. Bulgur, for example, has 12 grams of protein per 100 grams of dry product, while rice, 7 grams. Bread has almost 3 grams per slice. Keep in mind that for some patients, the protein intake for one day may be as low as 25 grams, okay? For them, the only way to eat enough calories without getting too much protein is eating a proteic food item such as a proteic pasta, bread, and rice. As an added bonus, these foods have no phosphorus at all, and they are often enriched with those vitamins you need the most such as vitamin B12, vitamin B9, and vitamin D. So, an easy win for a food that is being made exclusively for people with kidney disease? Well, not so fast. Because you see, while for a stage 4 patient without diabetes, for example, these proteic food staples may be the way to stop the progression of the disease, a diabetes patient may not find them as healthy. A proteic pasta, bread, and rice are processed carbs. If you eat too much of them, you are at risk for a glycemic spike. This can be avoided if you eat a moderate portion with some veggies and some fats to slow down the absorption. But it's still going to be a problem. And I also know for sure that some patients with diabetes will want to avoid any processed carb at all. This is why the healthiest carb source you can find is starchy vegetables such as potatoes, beets, and squashes. Guys, getting carbs from veggies is the best thing you can do to protect your kidneys. Not only these foods are all very rich in fiber, which is key for better kidney health, they also come with many health benefits that you can't get anywhere else. Let's see a couple of examples. Beets. Beets, for example, are one of the healthiest veggies out there. They are naturally high in nitrates, very powerful vasodilators, and they may even help lower your blood pressure. This is a food you absolutely don't want to miss out on. Another underrated veggie I recommend as a carb source is red potatoes. Potatoes are rich in nutrients and fiber. They are a gluten-free carb sources that's also low on the GI scale, especially if you cook them the right way. Choose red potatoes if you are diabetic, as they are lower on the GI scale than regular potatoes. Potatoes are high in potassium, but most patients today shouldn't have to worry about this. Turnips are also great for a renal diet. Turnips contain several anti-inflammatory plant compounds associated with disease-fighting properties. This is extremely important in a renal diet because CKD has an inflammatory component that you should take into account. The more anti-inflammatories in the diet, the better. And these root vegetables are loaded with fiber and vitamin C, vitamin B6 and manganese as well. But many other starchy veggies that are underrated come with huge health benefits. Carrots are an example. They are great because they are full of fiber and they also contain beta-carotene. Beta-carotene, the water-soluble form of vitamin A, helps the kidneys filter toxins out of the blood, and it may even help prevent urinary tract infections according to studies. And guys, all these benefits and vitamins and fiber you will get come with very few calories, and all the carbs you will get are low on the GI scale, meaning that they are perfect for people with diabetes as well. And while you should not disregard the other foods we have seen in today's video, as all of them are suitable for a renal diet, starchy veggies are absolutely the best. And if you want to learn more about the renal diet, this video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye.